Picture this: someone you cherish deeply, a grandparent, a parent, or an aging aunt, starts acting just a little off. Maybe they're quieter than usual, or their energy seems to vanish into thin air. You shrug it off. After all, growing old comes with quirks, right? But what if those tiny shifts are actually the body's secret alarm bells, screaming that time is running out? The reality is, death doesn't always crash in like a tidal wave when someone's elderly. More often, it sneaks up slow and sly, dropping cryptic hints for months, even a full year, before the final curtain falls. And here's the kicker: most people miss these clues entirely, only piecing them together when it's too late to act, too late to savor those precious last laughs or heartfelt talks. In this video, we're diving into 5 spine-chilling signs that could mean your elderly loved one is in their final year. These aren't your average they're just tired moments. These are eerie, under-the-radar changes that whisper the end is creeping closer. Spotting them now could unlock the power to make their remaining days glow with love, comfort, and epic memories you'll hold on to forever. Stick with me to the end, because knowing these 5 freaky signals might just arm you with the chance to face what's coming, not with dread, but with strength and a plan to make every second count. Let's jump in. Number 1. The vanishing act of their vitality. Imagine your loved one's spark just fading. One day, they're chowing down on their favorite pie, the next, they barely nibble a crumb. Their frame starts shrinking, pants sag, cheeks hollow out, and you notice they're dropping pounds like a magician shedding props. You might think, they're just picky now, but hold up, this isn't normal aging. When the body mysteriously stops holding on to weight, it's like it's waving a red flag, saying it's too tired to keep the engine running full blast. Appetite fizzles out, meals turn into battles, and soon they're skipping food altogether. It's not stubbornness, it's their system quietly powering down, hinting that the endgame might be closer than you think. If their ribs are showing or their strength is slipping fast, don't sleep on this, it's time to dig deeper. Number 2. The energy vampire takeover. Ever seen your loved one go from bustling around to barely lifting a finger? We're talking exhaustion so brutal it pins them to the couch like a horror movie villain. Simple stuff, brushing their teeth, shuffling to the kitchen, becomes a Herculean quest. They doze off mid-sentence, nap like it's their job, and even chatting drains them dry. This isn't just "I need a coffee" tired, this is the body rationing its last drops of fuel, like a car sputtering on fumes. Their muscles weaken, their steps wobble, and suddenly, they're a shadow of who they were. If they're fading into this eerie fatigue fog, it's a loud clue something big is shifting beneath the surface. Number 3. The mind's mysterious unraveling. Picture your sharp-witted grandma staring blankly, lost in her own living room. Or your dad, who never forgot a birthday, asking who you are. It starts small, misplaced keys, repeated stories, but then it snowballs. They zone out, mix up days, or drift into silence like they're retreating to another dimension. It's not just quirky forgetfulness, it's their brain pulling the plug bit by bit. Conversations turn into mazes, emotions flatline, and they might even snap or sob out of nowhere. This mental fog isn't them, it's their body broadcasting a chilling SOS that the clock's ticking louder. Number 4. The invasion of endless sickness. Remember when they bounced back from a cold in a flash? Now, every sneeze lingers like an unwanted guest. Cuts won't heal, infections pop up like whack-a-moles, pneumonia, skin sores, you name it. Their immune system's throwing in the towel, leaving them defenseless against germs that used to be no big deal. A scratch festers, a cough drags on, and suddenly they're a revolving door for doctor visits. It's not bad luck, it's their body admitting it can't fight like it used to, signaling the end might be staging its creepy approach. Number 5. The breath-stealing finale. Here's where it gets downright haunting: breathing turns weird. Shallow gasps, long pauses, or a rattling wheeze you can't unhear. Their hands go icy, their feet turn blue, and their skin looks like it's hiding secrets. Circulation's checking out, rerouting blood from fingers to core, leaving them cold as a crypt. They pant after 2 steps or cough up gurgles that chill your spine. It's not a cold, it's their lungs and heart waving a white flag, whispering that the finish line's in sight. If this hits, it's go time to soak up every moment before it's game over. Stay tuned to the end, because these 5 terrifying signs aren't just warnings, They're your VIP pass to turn fleeting time into something unforgettable. Let's make it count. Alright, let's dive right into the meat of this thing, because if you've stuck around after that wild hook, you're in for a ride. We're talking about those eerie, hair-raising signs that your elderly loved one might be inching toward their final year, stuff that's so subtle you might miss it unless you're paying close attention. And trust me, I get it, nobody wants to think about this. It's heavy, it's messy, and it's the kind of topic that makes you want to scroll to a cat video instead. But here's the deal, facing this head-on could be the difference between regret and peace, between wishing you'd done more and knowing you made every second count. So, grab a coffee, settle in, and let's unpack this together like we're chatting over the kitchen table, because that's how real this is about to get. Imagine you're sitting there, watching your grandpa shuffle across the room. He's always been a tank, broad shoulders, big laugh, the guy who'd wrestle you for the last slice of pizza even at 80. But lately, something's off. He's not just moving slower, he's shrinking. Not like he's hunching over, though that might be part of it, but his whole body seems to be pulling a disappearing act. His flannel hangs loose where it used to stretch tight across his chest, and his jeans. They're cinched up with a belt that's notched tighter than ever. You catch him pushing food around his plate instead of digging in, and when you ask, he just shrugs, "Not hungry, kid." At first, you laugh it off, maybe he's just over your cooking, right? But then it hits you, this isn't a one-off. He's been skipping breakfast, nibbling at dinner, and that hearty appetite you grew up admiring? It's gone AWOL. You start noticing his cheekbones sticking out more, his wrists looking frail, and it's like his body's decided it doesn't need fuel anymore. That's when the chill creeps in, because this isn't about him being picky. This is his system sending up a flare, whispering that it's winding down in ways you can't ignore. Now, I know what you're thinking, people lose a little weight as they age, don't they? Sure, muscle fades a bit, metabolism slows, all that jazz. But this isn't your garden variety "I'm too old for seconds" situation. This is the kind of drop where you're Googling why is grandpa wasting away at 2 a.m. because it's freaking you out. See, when the body starts shedding pounds without trying, it's not just about food, it's about what's happening under the hood. Maybe it's not processing nutrients like it used to, or the stomach's checking out early, or even some sneaky condition like cancer or heart trouble is pulling the strings behind the scenes. Whatever it is, the result's the same: less energy, less strength, and a loved one who's starting to look like a ghost of themselves. You might try to fix it, whip up their favorite lasagna, blend a smoothie, anything to pack the calories back on. But if they're still fading despite your best efforts, it's not about your cooking skills. It's their body saying, "I'm shifting gears," and that shift? It's heading somewhere final. Let's pivot for a sec, because there's another layer to this that'll hit you right in the gut: energy, or the lack of it. Picture your mom, the one who used to chase you around the yard, bake 3 batches of cookies, and still have juice left to nag you about your messy room. Now, she's parked on the recliner, eyes half closed, barely mustering a hey when you walk in. You figure she's just tired, long day, bad night's sleep, whatever, but then it keeps happening. She's not just napping more, she's practically hibernating. Getting up to grab the remote feels like climbing Everest, and when you suggest a quick walk, she waves you off like you've asked her to run a marathon. This isn't "I'll perk up after coffee" tired, this is bone-deep, soul-sucking exhaustion that's got her pinned down like a horror flick monster's got her in its claws. You peek in one day and she's dozed off mid-show, head lolling, and it's not cute, it's creepy. Like, where'd her fire go? Here's where it gets real. This isn't laziness, and it's not her giving up on life. It's her body pulling a power-saving mode, like a phone on 5% battery that dims the screen to survive. The heart's not pumping like it used to, the lungs aren't delivering oxygen at full blast, and every move she makes is costing her more than she's got in the tank. You might catch her wobbling when she stands, or her hands trembling as she reaches for a glass, and it's not just old age clumsiness. It's her system redirecting what little juice it's got left to keep the essentials running: heart, brain, bare minimum. The rest? It's shutting down shop. And the worst part? She knows it too. She might not say it, but you see it in her eyes: frustration, maybe even shame, because she can't keep up anymore. You want to shake her, tell her to snap out of it, but that's not how this works. This is her body calling the shots, and it's screaming that time's getting short. Okay, let's take a breath, because this next one's a doozy, and it's gonna tug at your heartstrings harder than a puppy adoption ad. Think about your uncle, the guy who'd school you at trivia, recite every line from his favorite westerns, and never miss a beat in a debate. Now, he's sitting there, staring at the TV like it's speaking Martian. You ask him about his day, and he blinks, fumbles, then asks, "Wait, who are you again?" Your stomach drops, because this isn't a senior moment. This is his mind pulling a slow fade, like a radio signal cutting in and out. He's forgetting names, losing track of the day, repeating the same story about that fishing trip from '98 like it's breaking news. At first, you brush it off. Everyone blanks sometimes, right? But then it ramps up. He's wandering the house, confused about where the bathroom is, or he's asking about Aunt Linda, who's been gone for a decade. It's not quirky, it's haunting. What's wild is how this isn't just memory glitches, it's his whole vibe shifting. He used to light up a room, now he's retreating into some quiet, foggy corner of his head. You try chatting, and he's checked out, nodding blankly or trailing off mid-sentence. Maybe he gets snappy when he never used to, or he's crying over nothing, and you're left wondering, where'd he go? It's not him being rude or dramatic, it's his brain waving bye-bye as the body slows down. Less oxygen, weaker blood flow, and bam, the sharp edges of his mind start to blur. You want to drag him back, force him to remember, but it's like trying to hold water in your hands, it slips away no matter how tight you grip. And that's the gut punch. He's still here, but pieces of him are already drifting off, and you're stuck watching it happen in slow motion. Now, let's flip the script to something physical again, because this next one's a sneaky little terror that'll keep you up at night. You've got your sweet old neighbor, the one who'd wave from her porch with a grin, always spry despite her years. Then one day, she's coughing, nothing major, just a tickle. A week later, she's still at it, and now she's got a fever she can't shake. You figure it's a bug, no biggie, she'll bounce back, except she doesn't. Next thing you know, she's down with pneumonia, then a urinary infection, then some nasty rash that won't quit. It's like her body's turned into a germ magnet, and every little scrape or sniffle blows up into a full-on saga. You're running her to the doc, picking up meds, but it's relentless, she's sick again before the last round's even cleared up. What's going on? Here's the spooky truth, her immune system's packing it in. Back in the day, it was a fortress, colds didn't stand a chance. Now, it's a crumbling shack letting every invader waltz right in. Cuts that used to heal in days linger for weeks, turning red and angry. A bruise spreads like a storm cloud, and you're wondering why her skin's so fragile all of a sudden. It's not just bad luck, it's her body losing the fight, bit by bit. Blood's not circulating like it should, organs aren't pulling their weight, and infections are throwing a party she can't shut down. You might notice she's fuzzier when she's sick, too, not feverish, just off. That's the kicker, her brain's taking hits because her defenses are toast. It's not about curing every bug anymore, it's about realizing her system's too tired to keep playing whack-a-mole with the Reaper. Alright, brace yourself, because this last one's the creepiest, like something out of a suspense flick where the music gets all tense and you know the big reveal's coming. You're hanging with your great aunt, and she's breathing funny. Not loud or dramatic, just shallow, like she's sipping air instead of gulping it. You lean in, and there's this pause, like she's holding her breath, then a quick gasp catches up. It's freaky, right? Later, you touch her hand, and it's ice cold, even though the room's toasty. Her toes? Same deal. You peek at her fingers, and they've got this pale, bluish vibe going, like she's channeling a vampire. She complains she's winded just sitting up, and when she talks, she's stopping to pant like she's run a lap. What's happening here? This is the body's grand finale kicking in, circulation and breathing doing a slow, eerie dance toward the exit. Her heart's not pushing blood to the edges anymore, it's hoarding it for the VIP organs, leaving her hands and feet out in the cold, literally. That weird breathing? It's her lungs clocking out, not bothering to keep the rhythm steady. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it stalls, and if you hear a gurgle or rattle, it's fluid creeping in where it doesn't belong. You want to fix it, crank the heat, prop her up, anything, but this isn't about a quick tweak. It's her system saying, I'm almost done, and it's loud if you listen. The wild part? She might not even complain much, just sit there, fading, while you're scrambling to figure out how to hold onto her a little longer. So, here we are, sprawled out across this heavy, wild ride of a conversation. We've been through the vanishing vitality, the energy vampire takeover, the mind's unraveling, the endless sickness invasion, and that breath-stealing finale. It's a lot, I know, like staring down a storm you can't outrun. But here's why we're doing this: it's not about doom and gloom. It's about seeing the signs for what they are, little warnings flashing in the dark, giving you a heads up so you're not blindsided. Because when you spot these creeps sneaking in, you've got power. Not to stop the clock, nobody's got that magic, but to shift gears. To stop stressing about forcing food or fixing every cough and start soaking up the good stuff, the stories, the quiet smiles, the I love yous that don't need words. Think about it, what if you'd missed this? What if you'd brushed off grandpa's shrinking frame as just aging or mom's naps as she's earned it, only to look back later and realize you had a whole year to make it epic, but didn't? That's the sting we're dodging here. This isn't about predicting the exact day or playing Grim Reaper bingo, it's about tuning in so you're not caught off guard. Maybe it's sitting with your uncle, letting him ramble about that fishing trip for the 10th time, because who cares if it's a repeat? Or holding your neighbor's hand when she's too weak to chat, just so she knows you're there. It's the small moves that stack up, turning a slow fade into something warm, something you can live with when the quiet hits. And yeah, it's scary, terrifying, even, to watch someone you love slip into this phase. You'll want to fight it, to drag them back to the person they were. I've been there, hovering over my own grandma, begging her to eat one more bite, to stay awake for one more story. But here's what I learned the hard way: pushing doesn't always help. Sometimes, it's about letting go of the fix-it mode and leaning into the be-there mode. Bring her a blanket, play her old tunes, or just sit in the silence if that's what she needs. It's not giving up, it's giving her the best of what's left, and giving yourself a chance to breathe through it without the guilt of what if. Let's wrap this up with a real talk moment, because we've been deep in the trenches here. These signs, weight dropping, energy tanking, mind slipping, sickness piling up, breathing turning spooky, they're not a death sentence on a calendar. They're a heads up, a nudge to pay attention. Every elderly loved one's different, some might show all 5, some just a couple, some might hang on longer than you'd guess, but when you see them stacking up, it's your cue to shift how you show up. Make the call, take the trip, snap the photo, even if it's blurry and they're mid-nap. You're not just watching them fade, you're building something to hold on to when they're gone. And that's the real win in all this mess. So, what's your next move? Maybe it's checking in on that person you've been meaning to call, or just sitting with this for a bit, letting it sink in. Whatever it is, you're not alone in it, we're all stumbling through this stuff together. Drop a comment if any of this hit home, or if you've got a story that's burning to get out. I'm here, reading every word, because this isn't just a video, it's us figuring out the hard stuff, side by side. Thanks for sticking with me through this wild, 2,300 plus word beast. Let's keep making the most of it, yeah. See you in the next one.